Welcome back to the channel. All right, folks, let's get right into it because we've got some serious momentum building up. So the other day, I was just chilling, minding my own business, checking some charts, and out of nowhere, ZBCN starts catching my eye again. I mean, the market's red, everything else is basically taking a nosedive, but ZBCN? Nah. This thing just starts pulling one of its classic moves, pulling back a little, but not in a way that screams danger. More like it's stretching before a sprint. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute financial advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor. All opinions expressed in this video are my own, based on personal research and observations. Cryptocurrency investments carry a high level of risk, and you should always do your own due diligence before making any financial decisions. Never invest money you can't afford to lose. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and that got me thinking, what the heck is going on here? You know, most altcoins during downturns, they bleed. Some even get wrecked completely. But ZBCN? It held strong. It looked more like a healthy correction rather than a sell-off. I'm telling you, this coin is acting like it's ready to go parabolic. And while none of this is financial advice, you know the drill, do your own research, I'm just here sharing my observations. This kind of price action is not something you see every day. Green day? Finally. But is it the real thing? Let's talk about today's green day. Finally, right? After a couple of gut-wrenching red days, it felt like a breath of fresh air. But, and there's always a but, we've seen this before. Could this be a dead cat bounce? You know, a fake out before the market dives again? Totally possible. That's why when things are uncertain like this, it's crucial to identify which coins are weathering the storm. And you guessed it, ZBCN is one of them. What I've noticed, and I've been keeping a close eye, is that ZBCN has managed to retain a significant chunk of its gains. During times when most altcoins are dropping like flies, ZBCN is standing tall. That alone says something. It's resilient, and resilience in crypto is like gold in a bear market. ZBCN moves on its own terms. If you've been in the ZBCN ecosystem for a while, you already know this. ZBCN doesn't follow the rules. It's not like your typical altcoin that gets dragged around by BTC or ETH. Red day, ZBCN pumps. Green day, sometimes it pulls back, sometimes it flies. It's unpredictable in the best way possible. It's got its own rhythm, and that makes it a very rare kind of asset. So when I look at it, I've learned not to compare ZBCN's behavior to the rest of the market. ZBCN is like its own little planet, spinning with its own gravity and pulling in a community of die-hard holders who aren't swayed easily. Community buzz and media attention. Now here's something really exciting. More and more YouTubers are talking about ZBCN. No joke. I did a quick search the other day and I was like, wait, this person? They've never talked about ZBCN before. And then another and another. That's when it clicked. The buzz is growing. This isn't just anecdotal anymore. The mainstream crypto media is starting to pay attention too. A couple of new articles just dropped. One of them came out yesterday, August 2nd. And that's huge, because the more eyes we get on ZBCN, the more this thing has a shot to go mainstream. You already know ZBCN has solid tech, right? We've talked about that a dozen times already. But tech alone doesn't make a coin moon. Awareness does. Adoption does. Hype does. That's how you get from 10x to 100x to possibly life-changing returns. And ZBCN is checking every one of those boxes right now, holding strong while others collapse. Let's go back to the market behavior for a second. While everything else was crashing, and I mean dropping 5, 8%, 10%, ZBCN dipped by what, 2 to 3%? That's almost nothing in this space. That shows conviction from the holders. That shows people don't want to let go. And trust me, if people wanted out, this thing would have dumped hard. But instead, we're watching it stabilize and consolidate, which usually precedes a big move up. Smart money sees potential and holds on. That's exactly what's happening here. And if you've been watching my channel, you know I always say this, do your own research. It's your research that gives you the courage to hold during those nasty red days. It's the key to developing conviction, not just FOMO. Holder count keeps growing. Another insanely bullish signal. The number of ZBCN holders just keeps rising. More people buying in, more wallets, more community growth. You can't fake that kind of organic expansion. And in crypto, that's a leading indicator, not lagging. When new people consistently join a project, especially during bearish times, that's a loud flashing neon sign that says momentum is building. Ignoring that? That's how you miss generational wealth opportunities. I genuinely believe ZBCN has the potential to be a life-changing coin for early adopters. I'm not throwing that phrase around lightly. The signs are all there. You just have to read them. Current stats and technicals. All right, let's break down some stats and technicals real quick. Current price, 0.49 cents. Daily performance, up 4.5% today. Market cap, 441 million or 24H volume, down 23%, but nothing alarming. Looking at the charts, ZBCN just formed a double bottom, which is often a textbook sign of a trend reversal. This might just be the start of a new bullish wave. There was a bearish head and shoulders earlier, but it didn't break too far down. It bounced right around the support zone. That bounce could be the launch pad for the next leg up. And here's the kicker. ZBCN's all-time high was at 0.70. That's not far from where we are now. We're just around 30 to 40% below AT8, and if the momentum keeps up, retaking that level seems not only possible, but likely. Future price predictions. What if? Let's dream a little. Right now, ZBCN is under a $500 million market cap. Compare that to something like Stellar Lumen's XLM, which sits around $12 billion. If ZBCN were to hit that kind of valuation, we're talking about a 27x from here. That's not hopium, that's basic math. At 27x, that brings the price to 14 cents. That's huge. Now, I know there are wild bulls out there calling for $1 ZBCN. If that happens, man, oh man, we're not just talking about life-changing. We're talking about generation-defining returns. But even if ZBCN just goes to 14 cents, that's still an insane return from where we are today. ZBCN is more than just price action. It's a community, a movement, and a project that's actually trying to solve real problems with real innovation. While most coins are vaporware or meme-fueled hypes that disappear in a few months, ZBCN keeps building. And the fact that it holds up when everything else crumbles? That's strength. That's fundamentals in action. That's a team delivering and a community believing.